Hi, I'm Kenji Chiga, a Tokyo-based photographer. I'm interested in documentaries, especially documentaries about things that cannot be expressed or photographed in the traditional way of photography. I not only take photos but also compile them into handmade books. In this process, I not only take photos and edit them, but also do all the necessary steps of to complete the book such as layout, binding, paper selection, and cover design also. Mm, this is me. My latest project I'm working on is OS, is about the crime of special phone scams in Japan, which is reported very every day in Japan. Special phone scams have been very prevalent since about around 2003. And of several types, the most famous is the ore ore scam. This is the ore ore means it's me, it's me. Hey mom, it's me, like that. And OS, title OS means this ore ore scam. So you know O and S, OS, and some scammers use this types OS. So I tried to OS is title. There are a lot of questions that came up through this project, but for me, biggest question I have in this project is that this crime used to be about a particular person being the perpetrators or the victims, but now it's not, and everyone has the potential to be the perpetrator or the victims. The question is what can society as a whole do to prevent this from happening? There are a few victims. However, they were only indirectly introduced to me. So, and I didn't receive any direct contact. I've been victimized during my research and questioning some people. I think this is because being scammed is, in other words, being deceived, and this is shameful for many Japanese Oreo scammers often use this shame as a way to cheat people out of their money. And they use shame to deceive and are hidden by shame. There are probably more silent victims around me, I think. I contacted to one preparator, um, but he is a kind of my friend. But actually, he didn't work as a ore scammers, but kind of like that. Other types of telephone scams. And I asked some questions, and I also include this session to my book and project also. But this is how can I say very accidentally meeting and very difficult to make a contact with preparators who work now also. So it's maybe I think impossible. I've made a number of works, but in the beginning I was making more personal work. I was making more personal. But my interest gradually shifted from the inside to the outside. So means personal story to social kind of, and I began to make um, revolved around the society. My thought process isn't solid, so it's hard to explain like this. But it starts with every time what happened, why did it happen, and how do I and our society related to it. And I start to research about these topics, And through the research, I can find some interesting points. For example, about OS in this project and water-solved paper. Some preparators to use this water-solved paper to hide the information from police. Through the researching, I can find some interesting point and I can get some idea to use make visuals. My previous work is about suicide, right? And so maybe title is the suicide boom, and I need to explain to the people about detail this project because in that work I show the how story and photograph and the images affected to the people when they going to die. So my photo and my story also has possibility to like that. So I need to explain this how anyway, so I need to write down more big text. But in OS, I try to make a lie and make a impression of doubt by using photograph and images. So I try to make this kind of image, not just photograph. Every time I found process to make these kind of images through the researching. In this time, I just found water solved paper, so I could do this. I always pay attention to whether or not I can add layers to the work well, and whether or not what I am trying to do while keeping the concept of the work in mind matches not only one point but the whole. The balance of the four is also important. Feeling is also very important for me. So rhythm and balance and feeling. I'm also interested in narrative. When I editing the sequence, sometimes I want to pick some images because my favorite images. But when I thinking about for narrative, if this my favorite images doesn't work this whole narrative, I have to kill it. This is very sensitive as a photographer, but I don't care to kill this my favorite ones. For me, narrative is important, more important than single image. At first, Reminders Photography Stronghold is a gallery and a kind of group founded by creator Yumi Goto and her partner Masaru Goto. The group consists mainly of artists like myself who have a strong interest in documentary works. One of their characteristics is that they are not bound by traditional methods, and if there is a more effective way to communicate something, they will continue to use it, for example, text or archive or something like that. And many of my friends of RPS is Reminders Photography Stronghold, have won book awards also. I started to work with Yumi Goto since 2016, maybe 2016. At that time, I had the workshop by Chao Kian from China, and I made one book. And after that, I continued to work with Yumi, and I already made three books at RPS. Yeah. I making a book also, so I already made three or four dummy books. about OS. This is my latest dummy book about OS. Some preparator use a telephone book, kind of yellow book. So I try to make the book looks like a telephone yellow book. Mm. So very thick. One of my inspired photographer is Max Pincus and Mash Ruffering. I'm photographer, but I always looks novels, film, and photo books, and also music also. And I get some idea and stimulation from that. I really appreciate to join this VR exhibition by D Emptyspace. For me, maybe this is my first time to having exhibition online at online internet space. Very interesting experience for me. In this situation, we cannot going to see the exhibition in Japan also. This types of exhibition style is will be more important for us, especially the people who makes a project about the society or kind of problem and who want to show that to worldwide. This is very good experience for me. Really appreciate to join this exhibition.